Okay, Izzy, y'all. I'm not exactly completely happy with the new mix. Got this one back when I got the code Veronica. On sale. Well, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, though. And I'm not seeing myself online yet. Oh, yeah, I am. Oh, Lord. It's got music on it. They always silence your videos when... Okay, let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure I feel like doing a new game tonight after working on that song for 2 hours. I think I'm going to go through and do a tremble cut on that vocal. Because I was more happier with it this time than I was the last time. And I got to clean these glasses. But it seemed like it was too gravelly to me when I was listening back in. I made 4 mixes of it. One a comparison to Mission to Mars, since it is Mission to Mars 2. I tried to master it like it, then I made several the mastering. I got this thing on backwards. Hold on, let me see. Let me check it. That's right. I just some reason that's annoying me tonight. I made 4 masters tonight. I listened to all 4 of them, and boy, I'm getting tired of listening to that song after you hear it 100 times. That's the way it goes with me, though. I mean, back when I was making my first CD, I burned hundreds of CDs on maybe just one song. Putting that thing back in there, listening to it. I don't like it. Throwing it down. I had a whole storage crate of CDs from that first album of mixes. Right now I'm happy with it, but it seemed like it was hitting my ear in a wrong way. That it's kind of gravelly. I mean, if I told you what the combinations of the vocals would remind you of, you took a little bit of Tom Waits, you take a little bit of Marilyn Manson, you take a little bit of Axl Rose. That's what it's sort of like, and it's gravelly. But first, when I first made my mix last night, the voice had too much bass on it, so I went in there and trembled it. Now it's got too much tremble, and it was hitting my ear with tremble. So I'm going to have to go back and cut some of that tremble off that vocal. I thought I was happier with it tonight, but unfortunately I made 3 versions of the vocal, which made it better. So now I'm going to have to go through there and do each of those and cut that tremble off of it. Then go back and set in 10 minutes a piece and wait for it to upload back into the machine. Or I could just do it on the Audacity. Not sure if I'll do this tonight or not. I may just stick with some GTA tonight. I'm not sure I feel like a new game. I've been wanting to start it, but I don't know if I feel like it. So I'll be right back. You'll probably see the swinging cat. I'm just not sure I feel like it. I'll just stick with swinging cat right now. I mean, GTA swinging cat. Swinging cat comes up when you're in between games. I know that's bad on the it's bad on the labeling of the video, because it'll label it something else and then it'll be something else when you do that. But I'm just not sure I got the energy to start a new game tonight after doing 2 hours of mixing. So we'll just wait and start that new game later. I'll just play a little bit of this tonight. I probably won't stay on long. Tomorrow when I get up, I'm gonna have to go in there and cut some of that tremble off that song, off them vocals. Beat's fine. That was created with a software program. It's fine. It always turns out fine. It's just my vocal. I didn't pull that mic out this time, so I didn't like how it sounded on the mic. So I went back to the built-in board, which is how I normally did my recordings anyway. But I want it to at least sound good, and I don't want it hitting me in the ear. Because if it hits me in the ear, it's going to hit somebody else in the ear, and they're not going to be appreciative of that, you know what I'm saying? If somebody else hears it. But that too much trembling, it just hit me in the ear wrong. So I listened to 4 mixes of it. 2 reference CDs and just 3 of the regular mixes where you did different things to it. One of the references was my mission to Mars, another was a pop CD. I just went and got a random pop CD out of my collection of hundreds of discs and referenced it towards it just to get a, when the AI is doing its mastering. I know one thing though, that thing is a blessing. I remember back in the old days you had to actually pay people hundreds of dollars to master CDs. And now you can just go in these subscriptions and go in there and master, and you can get the exact version you want of your song. You just keep going back. If you don't like it, you can go back and do it again, do it again, do it again. Keep doing it till you get it. It's probably the most professional thing that I've done. A lot of my music doesn't sound professional. This does, and if I can just get that vocal, if I can just get that vocal evened out and where it don't sound like it's hitting you in the ear, it should be just fine. It's probably the most professional thing I've done. Which is 30 years of recording experience. 30 something now. Those 2 songs, Quicksand Jesus and Breakdown, they were 2 of the songs that I used to sing on the tape recorder before I even had a karaoke.
Hey, what's happening with it, pimp? You know who it is. It's your boy LD.
Well, I did on my karaoke the other night.
In a minute, but I got a homie that needs something. And y'all just might make a perfect partnership. Let me read this thing. Looking for a professional operative to co-manage private intelligence.
I'm still an amateur, but it was the most. This is probably the most professional song I've worked on so far. And it'll be laxing compared to a real technician. But I still ain't there. Indeed, on my record, my last record I made, though I only made 2 records. They were hand cut. And it was, I got Cody Henson to master that one, because I was having trouble with it. But he told me he had the same trouble, so. He did do a pretty good job. He did better than I did, that's for sure. He was the professional. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's see. I didn't give her a shower, did I? I don't think I gave her a shower. I just done that so I always wanted to hear my voice on a record. That was my only reason I made those records. That was a dream when I was a kid. I'd sit back and I want to be on a record. I still always wanted to be on a record. When I made The World of Madness, I wanted to be on a CD. I paid this guy $37 to master that and put it on a CD. And I don't know if it's my internet. Hold on, I'm having to find out what's going on here. I'm not talking about my connections, I'm talking about my phone here. My phone's doing some crazy crap. I don't understand this phone. It's like somebody's blocking a signal or something. The signals are all gone to hell. Let me restart it. I mean, I'm talking about everything. Not just the network. I'm talking about their network. I'm talking about my Wi-Fi. Even the Wi-Fi is freaking blocked off. Usually I can always get Wi-Fi. I'll restart it. We'll see what goes on here. Let's see if I can get another phone to monitor with. Hold on. Just a sec. I got this MP3 phone here that I use. Only for MP3s, and I thought I'd already have it on because I used it before I was going to bed. I must have cut it off. I only use it for MP3s only. I don't like not being able to monitor my feeds. I can't tell what's going on. I think it's back now. Let's check and see. Gotta clean its storage up, that's for sure. Of course, I know what it is. I made some more beats tonight. And I hadn't moved them. So they take up room. You know, I'm trying to make 9 songs. Not all of them's going to be technical, but I'm still making some beats anyway just to get better at it. Some of them are going to be grunge rock. It's going to be a mixture thing. Moderate rock. This album's going to be the best of both worlds. The best of both was the one everybody on us. Let's make sure we're still working. Well, I'm gravelly tonight. I must just be gravelly right now. I heard the tail end of it when I was checking my feed. Baby, come on, baby. And I just mixed 2 songs. Baby, come on. Oh, I love that. Baby, 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 baby. I got the tools to satisfy, keeping the dream alive. I wonder what car she can steal today. last night. Baby, come on. Come on, baby. You'll see, yeah. I got the tools to satisfy. Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum. I'll tell you, I was divided. I was divided on Van Halen. Because I love both freaking Sammy and Dave. I mean, I can think of many songs I like from both of them. Both of them. Pound cake. I love that one too. Give me some of that, mama, mama, mama. I wish I could do a pure rock and roll album, but only in my dreams. Mama, mama, mama. As long as I'm creating my own beats, it's not going to be full rock and roll. Mama, mama, mama. But if I can play guitar. Because I don't do it for a living. If I'd been like Beto Bork and them was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, you know what my thing would have been? I'd have been out hiring record producers, hiring bands. I'd have been doing rock and roll, baby. I'd done some good stuff, so I wouldn't just wasted it. Help my favorite ministries feed the hungry. But for fun, I'd create rock and roll, baby. And I do that as a poor man. Give me some of that. No, 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 no. How'd I get on Van Halen? Oh yeah, I started singing the best of both worlds. I want heaven right here on earth. I wouldn't live by nobody's rules either. If I wanted to go in one day and make a country album, I'd make a country album. If I wanted to make a blues album, I'd make a blues album. There'd be no rules, no limits. Take it to the limit, yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't even have no limits.
That's my third wreck this month.
I love all that music. I love blues music. I love country. Mostly sing rock, but I sing country every once in a while. A lot more in the past than I do now. Some of them songs I forgot how to sing. Like I used to do one from Brooks and Dunn called Mexican Minutes. I used to sing that a lot. Still pull out the Neon Moon every once in a while. Billy Ray, a lot of Billy Ray back in the past. If you ever watch my game streams from the past when I'd get out Fallout. Oh, by the way, I am going to record that version of that song that always scared me to death. I only took a piece of it in 2010. But I'm going to actually put out the full thing because I've actually seen it now with Fallout. Playing the Fallout games, it gave me a vision of that world that I was singing about. Now that I'm all alone. Now that I'm all alone. And I can put that part there because I've already sung it. I've already put it out. I'm not going to put my rest of the lyrics on because I haven't finished them yet. I mean, I hadn't recorded it yet. But boy, that song always scared me. Every time I'd get to working on it, I couldn't do it because of the world that I was writing about. It was kind of inspired by all that talk in the 90s about everything freezing over and everything. Or a nuclear bomb went off, and we were just at the end of the World Cold War when I was coming up with that. 2 years in, so talking about early 94 when I was singing out all them songs. A lot of them made it on the first album, some of them made it on the second album. I still didn't want to put that one out just yet. I'm going to finish it. Because it was about a world void, sort of similar to Fallout. But it always scared me to death every time I was working on it. Because I'd get into that space, you know, into my brain. And I'd think about all these things. Which I write lots of songs anyway. I get to thinking about things. I just added that lyric in Cold Black Heart. I was originally working on it. And I think them Fallout games were already out back then, even when I was doing that. See, I had never played them yet, so I wasn't. The main thing I played back then was wrestling games. I'd sort of gotten out of playing games because I don't do good at them anyway. I suck at anything that ain't just a fighting game. Like, I'm not good at solving puzzles, and I'm not good at doing missions. I did play through the Resident Evils, but with a little help. And that was the extra life. That's about the only thing you could use, though. You couldn't ever use the crate stuff. Now, one thing that would make it simple on those cheats was you could pull up a save option and save where you was at. And you could also get to your crate anywhere. Like, you could hit the keys here, like these 4 things here, these triggers. And you could pull your crate up. Other than that, that's about the only help I had. I still had to solve the puzzles, which would still take hours. But it would have been worse if I'd have been restarting the game over and over again, because I eventually give up. If I have to restart, I give up. That's what I like about the new Duke Nukem. They made the cheat in there. Now, I still had some missions I'd get stuck on. I never did fully play that. After we got past a certain mission, I got stuck. But it still beats being killed a gazillion times. Like I said, I'll give up if I get over and over again. That's probably why I've gave up on the Fallout so far, because it's gotten where I walk a few minutes and then I get killed. Of course, you know my levels are up higher. But when your levels get up higher, more of them things are coming at you. Feeling some smell. It's hurting my nose. I don't know what I'm smelling. Back to the music thing. I also wouldn't be doing it for record sales or anything else. I'd just be doing it for the enjoyment of trying to master rock and roll. Master making music. Seeing how better I can get or how worse I can get or if I stay the same. I usually don't never stay the same though. I usually just keep improving. Yeah, they say money don't buy happiness. That's true. And it won't never buy you happiness. Indeed, most people with money is usually empty. But if you know how to keep your soul in check and keeping yourself in the Bible and keeping yourself a guide, that's more important. And that rant I had on my podcast the other day, that's very real. You know, a lot of people have been turned off and just walked away together. That's why it's a source. It's not me I'm worried about. I'm strong. I don't care whether people look down on me or not. It's others. You know, a lot of people, they walk away or they blame God altogether for them ugly religious attitudes. And when I think about it, I get ticked off. I have to not think about it. Because I was planning to rant about communism and all that other stuff I was ranting about. And I ended up ranting about that. And I think I made some of my listeners mad. I wasn't real sure about that because we can overthink things sometimes. But I didn't really mean to go there. Money can't buy happiness, but it can get you in by in this world. You can do things. You can afford to do things. And you'd have to be smart about it too. You couldn't be dumb. Because you could spend it away. Normally, if you keep yourself right with God, you tend to be happy. I'm the same way. And then when I get out of par, that's when I get miserable. So I'm thinking, oh God, why'd I do that? That was stupid, Lord, please forgive me. And then even though you asked for the forgiveness, you still got to deal with the feeling. You still got to deal with the feeling. Your consequences. You know, even David, King David, the man after God's own heart, he had to deal with the consequences. When you screw up. If you master that down, you had money, it could be a real blessing. Especially if you did good things in the world. And there ain't really nothing good about creating music and I mean, it's good, it's fun, but that's just a worldly thing. You know what I'm saying? Could be good. It can be bad. It can be used for bad too. You can use it for bad. Can roll though. Oh, what a van! We're getting that van, baby. I can get over there to it. I ain't never run into that before. With the plumber van? I'm getting the plumber's van. Only thing you could have been doing. Well, I'm having trouble driving it. What kind of van is that? Let me look up. I'm gonna look at the side of it. Hold on. Yeah, it's pumping warmth into your home. It's an air conditioner van. Heating air. Roller coaster. I may have to get off. I'm kind of tired. Roller coaster. Wonder what she's supposed to do with that van. I know she's supposed to do something with it. She run into it. Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, baby. I wanna ride. Boom, 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 boom. Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, baby. I wanna ride. Yeah, if you had to go on success by trying to sell things, I would be a big failure. But I look at my music as a production thing, so it's always a success to me, no matter whether it gets any attention, whether anybody listens to it, whether people listen or not. It's a success for me because it's another notch on my book of something that I accomplished. And the accomplishment is trying to get better at music. That's the accomplishment. That's also a plus about having to do everything on your own. Because you have to learn how to do it. Your love is like right now I've got a vocal that's got too much tremble on it. I'm gonna have to go back and do the tremble. Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, baby. Other than that, I was happy with it. The other than it was too muddy. No matter what I did to it, it still stayed muddy. Nothing I could do to it, so I had to put it back in and clean it up some more. Your love is like, it ain't muddy now, but it's just, it seems like it hits you in the ear wrong. Look at all them missions she's got. Or emails and text. Well, I'm too sleepy. I'm gonna have to get off. Or if she could find the place to sell that van, if they even let her sell it. They may not let her sell it. Is that fog or is it my eyes? Smog? It's either smoggy or it's my eyes. Boom. 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 Struggling to be the old Christine. JCBW reboot is in works. Like I said, I was taking some green screens. I started a video the other day. I'll be doing my first episode real soon. I just hadn't felt time with all this work with the song. And since it's pretty much old versus new, I'm just going to end the current series that I've stopped with. We're going to start a whole new fresh JCBW, baby. And I'm going to weed out the politics completely. I mean, there might be references to the communist dictator, but he's been there since the beginning. And I got that from this dude I used to listen to all the time named David J. Smith. He was always talking about the communists infiltrated into the... A lot of that stuff he reported, though, believe it or not, it's come true. He's like Alex Jones. He's dead now. He died a few years back.
Man, I got soap.
That was what I based the communist dictator role off of. I was copying. You know, back then they had a President Ric Flair going on WCW. And so I kind of made him off that, but I tweaked him a little bit. I made him the communist President Ric Flair. His goal was, go bring back the Soviet Union, baby. Jokingly, of course. Not serious, in other words. That was where he came off of. And then when I moved it to the internet, I started watching Alex Jones and all that. I'd only been watching Alex Jones about 2 or 3 years before I started that. So I started working the real stuff going on and not just a fictionist Ric Flair. And I was going to bring in the real presidents, whoever it was at that time, that the election was going on. So it was either going to be Romney or Obama. I didn't like neither one of them. I didn't vote for neither one of them. I voted for neither Romney nor Obama. And I didn't vote for McCain either, or Obama. So those are 2 elections that I did not vote for the main candidate. Because I don't like globalist pigs. I'm sorry, I don't like them. I don't like globalist pigs. I don't like the military-industrial complex. And I better stop because we're going into another conversation here. And I don't vote for those people. I did in the past, but I won't now. I'll never vote for one again. Even if my vote does not win, I will never vote for one of them again. Never. Never again. I don't care who's in office. I don't care if Joe Biden's in office and they got them warmongers up here. Joe Biden will just have to serve its second term if it comes to me having to vote for one of them other people, because you got the same thing. You got the same thing. Don't tell me I'm the problem. No, you're the problem for continuously to vote for these people that are worthless. They're not going to invent you one bit, but just tell you things, depending on what side of the coin you're on. Whether you're pro-life or you're pro-abortion. As long as you vote on those issues, or whether you're pro-gay or anti-gay, as long as you vote on those issues, you're going to get the same old junk. You're going to get the same old garbage, because that's the way to divide us, y'all. So they can continue to keep making our lives miserable. It's the same thing. Billy Ray had this song, it's all the same to me. Well, it's all the same. North or east, south or west. Girl, it don't matter. How's it go? If this ain't where you want to be. For some reason I started hearing it in my head. But now I can't think of the lyrics. It was on his Greatest Hits album. You put me up some line up in the middle of the street. Want me in a prison. Lock me in a prison. And then with no chance of ever being free. You run a dagger through my heart. But baby, you can leave. It's all the same to me. There we go. These jokers are all the same. You know that I've heard people say that. It's your fault. You didn't vote for such and such. No, you just wouldn't have anything different anyway. They'd just be telling you different things. Like one of them be getting up there and making the speeches at the life movement. And the other one is championing abortion. While at the same time taking your country to hell. It's all the same. Well, it don't matter if they get up there preaching Jesus. If they let the country go in hell, why Bush did that. He get up there pretending he was with Jesus. You know what, beat it of all, I voted for him because I was a dumb Christian back then. If they ain't if all they're doing is taking those sides and at the same time not doing anything to help the country, you're wasting your time voting for them. Romney, I don't even remember him promising any of that stuff, neither did McCain. They always sound like warmongers to me. Bush was crafty. He was a warmonger, but yet he preached Jesus. That was a crafty bastard. McCain stirred up the current conflict in Ukraine. So this is something that's went on past his death. Something that he aided to bringing into being. Now I better hush, I'm talking politics. You can't do that on these speeds. We're watching people die and their homes have been blown up for something that McCain stirred up, helped stir up. But the new JCVW won't be going those directions. And if it does, it'll be in a joking way. It's not going to be taking on political issues. Not because it got banned. It's because I've got other avenues to speak now. I didn't run my mouth back then. That's back when I was shy. I was too shy to talk. I'm still shy if I'm in public. Or if I don't know you. Now, if I get to knowing you, I might not shut my mouth. If I don't know you, I'm going to be quiet. And I'm going to keep my distance. But I have other avenues of renting that off now besides making segments in a little CAW wrestling show. That was just a starting point. They'd have been better off to left me alone. But see, then they pushed me to even be more vocal. Because they harassed me about it the whole time. They were already shadow banning me and banning me before that really got rolling. And if you know the behind the scenes limbo with Alex Jones, he's actually told this several times. He's got up there and told that. They were literally trying to blackmail him to shut up.
What the fuck?
So now that he didn't shut up because they tried to blackmail him and buy him off, they're just doing it in the courts.
Hey, fuckface.
I mean, they'd offer him big spots as long as he wouldn't talk about this or talk about that. So that's the only reason they didn't start really cracking down on him until about 17. They were hitting people like Mark Dice, other people. Some people they completely wiped out in the beginning. They were messing with people like me and Mark Dice early on, and they would even sometimes strike an Alex Jones video here and there. But they really saved the best for last for Alex Jones because they was hoping they could buy him off. Because they knew he was the most effective. And now, since they couldn't buy him off, they just gonna get rid of him altogether. Oh, by the way, Mark Dice has some really good videos right now. He's been going to the those meetings they do downtown, dressed as a tranny, a transgender person, pumping this child Baphomet. I love that. I about died laughing. I was eating my breakfast this morning watching that blue-haired video he put up. I was joking on my breakfast. I was literally joking because he dresses up and he goes to the video trying to educate them. He's slipping this stuff in hoping he's educating them. While at the same time sounding like he's been. Yeah, some teachers are teaching about how did he do it. And I can't even get my son my son, daughter Baphomet. They're not wanting us to bring Baphomet to school. How was it? That's funny. If you ain't seen it, just look up Mark Dice and look for the blue hair. You'll see what I'm talking about. They use these issues to keep us divided so they can destroy our country. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like they get you all fired up about abortion. Or they get you all fired up about abortion. Or they get you all fired up about abortion, no matter what side of the coin you're on. Like they get all the blue-haired biddies all fired up. They're going, the right to have an abortion is going to be took away. Or they'll get the Christian conservatives all riled up because they think judgment's going to fall on America because of abortion. And I'm not saying that it won't. But I mean, if you think about it, the time of judgment comes at a certain date. It's not going to just happen. It's going to happen when God decides it's the end. And he's through with his day of grace. You see, you're out of place. Now, yes, we should work to stop it, but the best way to do it is through education. Not letting politicians stir your emotions so you just keep voting for the same schmuck when the same schmuck's just up there telling you a bunch of lies just to get you to vote for him. So that's what I'm talking about. So I don't vote. I don't let them jerk my strings anymore. I let them jerk my strings the first few elections, but I got tired of that. So when Obama was president, I voted for Bob Barr and Ryan Paul, and I'm proud of Ryan Paul. I don't know about Bob Barr because he didn't have a big record for me to look back on. Ryan Paul had, what was it, 30 years of trying to end the Fed, all this other stuff. And Trump, I voted on Trump based on, he was talking a good game and I was going to give him a chance to see if he would live up to his game because he wasn't one of them. Now if he'd been one of them, I just tuned him out. That's the way I am. Because here's me when they start getting up. I put that little rolly-eyed emoji. It don't matter what side it's on. Because if y'all look back at Nancy Pelosi, I better shut up. There was times that even she was against fighting against certain things. Until her hubby started making money off of her. And then she sort of settled down. You see, we're the money talks. AC/DC had the best song about that. Come on, living for the money. come on, come on, listen to the money talks. Come on, living for the money. Come on, listen. Bullshit walks, money talks, bullshit walks. So that's why you can't get me stirred up on all these other issues that they like to keep us divided on. Because you just got to learn how to see through them. They're manipulating you so they can rob you of everything blind and then eventually be ruling over you with an iron fist. And it don't matter whether it calls itself a Republican or a Democrat. And let's talk in the he, she, it, they things. Because these its, they don't care which side they're on. They just want you to give your right to self-governance away. I better hush, because that's podcast talk. Come on, listen to the podcast talk. Of course, it probably ain't working anyway. It's probably all skiffy. I know how it works. You probably won't be able to tell what I'm saying. That's usually my internet feed. It's like a breaking up broadcast. I kind of appreciate the Democrats more than I do some of the Republicans, though. Because if you listen to the Democrat, he or she will tell you what she's for. And they're open and honest about it now. But the Republicans, they'll still play the games, y'all. They're still playing the games. Of course they have to. They're going to take advantage of people being mostly Christian. And Christians seem to see the good in people instead of the bad. I mean, you have those that go around preaching, everything's going to hell, everything's going to hell. Those people that I rant about. But for the good part, most Christians want to see the good in people, because that's what Christ told them to do. And these squirrely politicians take advantage of that. Most of the Democrats now are open Marxists, and they brag it off, and they're like drones. They're all working for the same thing. I got to give it to Warnock though, and I'm giving him a plus on this, and I wish he'd really live up to it. He's got some really good damn commercials right now, and I've seen them on YouTube this morning when I was watching Mark Dice. He was actually addressing them letting our food set in the carts. Now, if he was really going to do something about it, I'm telling you, he'd have my support. He's actually addressing that. That's something I'm not hearing from some of the other people. But now, is it just talk? You see, I don't trust Democrats even more. I don't trust them Republicans either, but I don't, because most of them tend to be communists. I'm telling you, Warnock's talking a good game there. But it may just be talk. He's actually addressing the food shortages. That's something I'm not hearing from other people. All I'm hearing from the Republican side, this is the Republican side. Gotta get rid of Brian Kemp. Gotta get rid of Brian Kemp. Gotta get rid of Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp's the problem, even though Brian Kemp, I mean, he may have failed him on that election thing. I mean, if you really think about that election thing, he probably shouldn't have gotten involved to begin with. He should have left that to the people that was supposed to get involved. All they're focused on is Brian Kemp. Well, at least Brian Kemp kept Georgia open. I will give him that much. They're more worried about getting rid of Brian Kemp than they are Stacey Abrams. I know Marjorie would probably touch the food shortage if they wouldn't keep her distracted with all this other stuff. You see, they do her like they do Trump. They have to keep her fighting for herself, so she's too busy fighting for herself to do anything. And then they sit up there and talk about how she's not doing nothing. Hell, she can't do nothing. Because she's always too busy trying to defend herself. Because these people can't handle hurt feelings. There's more problems than hurt feelings, y'all. I mean, like even on the internet. Like, I done it all the time on AOL. Eventually, if I got tired of certain individuals, I'd hide them. I didn't do that much because I kind of respect free speech. Now, if they were doing too bad to me, sometimes I might notify that. There's just some things you just can't let get by. If they're doing something criminal to you, report that. Or if it's really harmful, those are usually the things that I would report on when they, like I'd have some threatening to put stuff on my computers and stuff like that. Do things to me, tear my computers up, they do that. That was usually the stuff I reported. But if it was just stupidity stuff, like even something I just didn't agree with them saying, I'd just hide that person. I'd block them. I'd hide them. These people today, they want to just totally silence everything altogether. Oh, she's back home, I think. Did she make it back home? Is that her hill home? It's close. I may just go in her house if I can find it. Well, I'm so sleepy I can't even see anymore. My eyes is tired.
How's it going, mate? What's going on?
I'll probably just have to leave without finding it.
You cannot be serious.
This is close. Let me park. I'm gonna walk around and find it, because it's close. I may just be too tired. Is that it? That's it. Thank you, Jesus. Now I gotta figure out how to get her up the sidewalk. I'm so tired. I got her home. I'll see y'all later. Sorry I got on the I didn't even mean to go there. But I was just thinking about that election. Hey, those 8 years that I didn't vote for neither one of the top candidates on the other side. And I love those people that tell you it's your fault. No, because if you didn't feel the right that you needed to vote for those people, well, then it's not your fault. Because you wouldn't have got any better to begin with. You just got somebody that's been telling you good things and your sweet nothings in your ears, while at the same time destroying this country. Sweet nothings. I'm on with that. Bow. I love that song. That's Brenda Lee for y'all that don't know her.